You guys see that? Yeah, you see. Okay. Can now jump during slide. What? What does it even mean? Couldn't you already do that? Am I cooked? I feel like you could already have done that, but maybe I'm insane. Hold on a second. I'm logging into Pocket right now. Get off of Virgo's PC, Carcat. You son of a bitch. Alright, anyway. Dash jump grants a very brief period with increased air control, 30% for a quarter of a second. I mean, I hope that doesn't also happen to the other characters. Alright, anyway. Shrines is now easier to kill. Great grammar. Billion-dollar company, by the way. Sorry, multi-billion-dollar company. Shrine is now easier to kill for the first one and harder for the second. Okay, so it is the same thing with walkers. Shrine's attack no longer hits heroes under the shrine. Why did it do that in the first place, by the way? Super Troopers bonus DPS increase from 40 to 60%. The upgraded troopers when the shrine dies. Middle lane troopers now gets upgraded when either of the shrines die rather than only when both die. Okay, so one shrine actually matters a fuck ton then. These types of changes always benefit the team that's behind, by the way. The losing team gains more benefit from these type of changes than the team that's winning. Killing a pair of base guardians now spawns a zipline boosted trooper wave to reinforce your push. Okay. So they're just trying to make it a little bit easier to end the game. Medic Trooper's DPS grows by 3% per minute. Troopers now gain 7 HP regen when out of combat. Trooper wave interval increase from 25 to 20, starting at 35 minutes. Guardian's bounty increase from 1,000 to 1,500. Okay. Walker bounty increase. So splitting is like better. Splitting is like way better because of these changes. Like, the Guardians gave like an okay amount of money before, but it wasn't anything crazy. Increasing it by 50% is actually fairly substantial. So in games where you're really far behind and there's like Guardians up on the map to take, since they don't have backdoor protection, like backdooring them is going to be way stronger. It does also make the game inherently a little bit more snowbally, but I think they want the games to actually end, so doing it like that is normally fine. Okay, Walker health rescaled. So first Walker is harder. Like 12 or 13% more HP or something like that. Second Walker is slightly harder. Third Walker is slightly harder. But the second and third Walker are virtually the same. Like there's almost no difference. The first Walker, though, is substantially hard to kill. Well, not substantially. It's like kind of harder to kill. Walker's armor decay rescaled from 75% to minus 50 to 65 minus 65 from over 20 minutes to over 18 minutes. Okay. Yeah, this is all making the game faster. Base Guardian's bounty increased. Shrine's bounty from 0 to 2,000. Okay, so killing one shrine now goes for... Okay, let's compare what it was before. Killing one shrine gave you creeps on one side, right? It gave you one creep on one lane of good creeps, right? It didn't affect mid. It gave you no money at all. And killing the Base Guardians also gave you less. Now, killing one shrine along with the Base Guardians gives you a bonus boosted wave. You get extra from the Base Guardians themselves, so 500 for both, right? 500 extra souls. Then 2,000 souls from killing the shrine. So that's 2,500 souls. And then you get 2 lanes of Giga Creeps instead of 1, because whenever you kill one shrine now, both mid and the lane that you killed get the creeps as well. So that's a shit ton of extra souls. And you get huge impact from having 2 waves pushing instead of 1. So getting a shrine now actually is a lot. Killing one shrine actually is a lot. Mid-boss base bounty increased. Mid-boss base HP increased. Mid-boss global announcement health threshold from 70% to 50. Bro, that's like no time at all. Why did they make it shorter? Look, I'm gonna be real. A 50% yell is basically just a dead mid-boss. Like, if you hear it scream now, it's dead. Like, you're not getting there. If you're not already there, you are not getting there. Mid-boss now has 75% debuff resistance. Rejuve drop duration from 7 to 6. Rejuve duration no longer refreshes when hitting a crystal later. Okay. Minimap now indicates if the urn is favored, neutral, or unfavored. Okay. Added a neutral camp at the Hidden King Park Walker. Added a neutral camp at Arkmother York Walker. Okay. Added 0-way veils underneath the shrine platforms in each base. Okay, so that means you can't see through either side. Move the mid lane bridge above the Hidden King base entrance more to the middle of the two edges. I'll just have to look at what that means. Subsequent CC reduction increased from 8 to 24 to 10 to 30%. Window from 7 to 8 seconds. Okay. Move speed diminishing ramp now occurs around 11 meters, or 11 movement rather than 10. Okay, so movement speed is slightly better. Fixed melee abilities not using conditional damage based on enemy state. Okay. Wait, that means that melees weren't doing enough damage? Oh no. I'm getting Venator punched out of the fucking earth. I'm gonna get nuked into orbit by a heavy melee, man. I'm just gonna fly. Like, the Earth's gravitational pull will not be enough to keep me grounded. Added a new T1 spirit item, Golden Goose Egg. Okay. Extended mag buff. High velocity is weapon damage now instead of fire rate. That is a DPS loss, by the way, because fire rate is much harder to get in small quantities. And also, most T1s don't give fire rate. Actually, no, I think it's just rapid rounds, right? Is that the only weapon item that gives fire rate anymore as a T1? It's got to be. All right. Bullet velocity increased. Long range fall off distance increased. Active reload. You can now reload while already full when carrying this item. That's cool. I mean, a lot of the time when you have active reload, you want to go into the fight with the buff anyway. So, like, doing that without having to shoot first is kind of nice. Okay, opening rounds buff. Swift Striker buff. Mystic Shot buffed. Why? No purple buffs. Kill purple characters right now. Kill them all, Yoshi. Kill them. Alright, Split Shot got nerfed. Or buffed, I mean. 8 seconds off. Now supports custom count and angles per hero. Enabled for Celeste, 3 at 70 degrees. What does that mean? Supports custom count and angles per hero. I'm too dumb to know what that means. Backstabber renamed to Stalker. Stalker no longer procs based on angles of attack, but instead based on doing bullet damage or melee damage within 8 meters of a hero target. That is way better than Backstabber. No longer has a proximity requirement for the overtime bonuses beyond the 8 meter proc proximity. That is a gigantic buff to that item. That is like such a huge buff. Melee charge. Heavy melee bonus damage now works with heavy melee abilities. Uh-oh. It wasn't even working before, guys. It literally didn't even work. Alright, Spirit Shredder buffed. Why are they buffing Spirit? Stop. We're getting headshot bonus health increase, blessing enchantment. Okay, it's like a side grade. It's mostly a nerf, actually, though, because the range matters more than probably anything else on this item. It also means you'll less consistently get the weapon damage because your AoE is going to be smaller. Hunter's Aura Solo Hero Multiplier reduced from 3 to 2 times. Resist reduction increased from 8 to 10. Fire rate reduction increased. Okay. So it's a better teamfight item and a worse solo killing item. Because before, it was 24 and 33. Now it's 20 and 28. So if you're solo against Hunter's Aura, you're better off than you were before. But in a team fight, like a big team fight, the item is a fair bit better. It's like 20 to 30% better. Weighted shots now builds from slowing bullets. Has slowing bullets passive? Okay, this item's going to be broken. No longer grants spirit res. Now grants 0.5 movement speed. No longer grants minus 30 bullet velocity. Debuff resist increased from 16 to 18. Weapon damage increased. Stamina reduction reduced. Okay, so this item is like technically... it's... minus 0.5 movement speed is not really that bad. Especially considering you're getting the slowing bullets as a component, and now the build-up is going to feel a lot better. I have a feeling this item is going to be purchased a lot more now. A lot of people are going to fuck with it. I think it's actually good. Does that reduce speed? Minus 0.5, yes. It reduces your actual movement speed, not your sprint speed. Frenzy base... Oh, wow. Giga buff on Frenzy. What the hell? It just gains extra spirit res. Conditional fire rate reduced a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, so it's more consistent. You don't have to be low HP to get big value out of Frenzy anymore. But the... If you are low, you're less tanky than you were before. But if you're high HP, it's better. I don't know. Is that actually good? I don't know. It might be good. It depends on how the movement speed stuff feels. If going from 10 to 11 is really that big of a deal, then it'll probably feel fine because Frenzy has movement speed on it. But Spiritual Overflow increase from 30 to 40. Now grants 20% duration instead of reduction. Interesting. Huh? Extra health buffed? Bro, extra health unironically gives you like 350 HP. It's so much. It's like 350 HP for 800 souls. It's such an insane item. During speed, fix slow resistance interaction with dash slows. Hey, they finally fixed the bug. Restorative block at range increased, thank God. Max stamina regen increased from 3 to 4. Now always restores at least 1 stam. Okay, that item is now maybe purchasable. Return fire returning damage now always hits the target's body. Some amount would naturally miss before, and some would be headshots. Interesting. Bullet damage return from 60 to 50. I wonder if that change actually makes the item good. We'll have to see. Weapon damage... weapon shielding damage threshold increased from 150 to 250, but lowered the cooldown. Okay, that's a lot of extra CDR, though. Like, going to 35 is basically almost what it used to be. Bullet resilience, low health threshold from 40 to 50. Low health reduced from 22 to 15. Okay, so, like, this is an EHP thing. They're basically making it so the bonus that you get from the resiliences applies at a higher health threshold, but you're actually getting less. I don't know what that does to the TTK. The last time they did this, I think it was actually an EHP nerf for having resilience, but I couldn't, like, I'm not mathy enough to know. All right. Life Strike, heal on melee hit reduced from 160 to 100 plus 1.5 per boon. That is dog shit. Why are they nerfing this? Why did they nerf Life Strike? There was only 2 characters in the entire game who bought this item. Why are they preemptively nerfing something that nobody bought? There's got to be other changes I don't know about. Leap area increased. Trophy collector souls per minute increased. Dispel magic. CD reduced. Oh, big fortitude buff. 3 seconds off. That's almost back to old levels, guys. It used to be 8. Then they made it 9, then 10, then 11, then 12, then 13. Now it's gone back down to 10. Soulbreaker high instant damage reduction from minus 75 to minus 65. Lifestrike is huge for Drifter. Yeah, he's one of the only 2 characters in the game who could buy it. That's kind of my point. Lifestrike was literally dog shit on 95% of the hero pool. It was unusable bad. Diviner's Kevlar cooldown reduced to 40 seconds. Wait, that doesn't even matter. What character in the entire game... I guess there's a few that can make use of a 40-second CD Kevlar, but none of them would actually want to buy this item, so what's the point of this change? Alright, anyway. Alright, a little bit of an inhibitor nerf. Cheat Death no longer reduces movement speed by -2 during the death immunity phase. Yo, Cheat Death stonks, let's go. Colossus active now grants you an additional 30% melee damage. Siphon Bullets now steals 2.5% of enemy max HP per bullet instead of a fixed amount. Wander's back, guys. He's fucking back. That's actually the Giga Shred item now. If it's still pure damage, that item is crazy. This item's about to get solved. So what was it before? Is it the old base value is what, 45? So in order to surpass the old values of Siphon, 38. I think it was like 45 to start. Maybe I'm wrong. Obviously 2.5% of 1,000 is 25. So by the time the person has 2,000 HP, this item becomes better. If it was 35, then it's only like 1,500 HP is all they need for it to be better. And 1,500 HP, literally everyone has by like minute 15 or 20, right? Like if you have your green, your 4.8k green, you probably have 1,500 life. And then the later the game goes, Siphon becomes way better than it was before, like literally 2 to 3 times as much DPS, probably. I wonder if it still scales with boons. If it still scales with boons, then it's like Omega Giga fucking good. And probably every M1 will need it at some point. Anyway. Mystic Regeneration buffed. Rusted Barrel buffed. Arcane Surge buffed. Slowing Hex now sets the gravity of an enemy to a fixed 20% heavier regardless of their own base values. Okay, so that makes the item a lot better against characters like Celeste who have their own gravity. Projectile speed increase, Slaying Hex cooldown decrease, suppressor debuff duration increase, spirit sap power loss increased, cooldown reduce. Wait, what the fuck? 18 seconds from 32? That's almost halving the cooldown. What the hell's happening? Spirit sap, a purchasable item? Okay. Decay healing reduction increase, silence wave damage scaling increase, cooldown reduce. Knockdown gravity increase from plus 50% to 100% when the stun hits the target. Causes airborne targets fall faster. Right, okay. Radiant regen bonus HP. Duration increase. That's because of the mystic regeneration changes, I guess. Healing and ability cast boon scaling from 1.5 to 2. Tank buster current health bonus damage from 7.5 to 8. Torment pulse scaling got nerfed. No longer hit sleeping enemies and to avoid waking them up. Nice. Little quality of life. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't nerf Torment Pulse harder than that. I felt like they would actually nerf it more. Disarming Hex cooldown reduced. Oh my god. Magic Carpet buff. CMG, it's your time. 12-second base duration carpet. Think about it, bro. You could get across the entire map. It's time to play Sinclair. Oh, Ethereal Shift buffs too. Nice. Cursed Relic penalizes your damage even more now. Now has a unit target option where a vacuum enemies around the target. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Oh my, yo, this is a full page of just Abrams changes. Okay, I didn't see removed from the game anywhere, so this character is probably still busted. Anyway. Bullet damage reduced to 3.6. Okay, so it's roughly like a 30% bullet damage per boon nerf. And his base damage got reduced by like 7 or 8%. Siphon life DPS reduced from... Okay, that's actually fairly substantial. So the gun at level 1 is like 7 or 8% worse, but as it levels, it's going to be like 25-ish% worse scaling. Siphon life DPS reduction by 7 is like another 25 to 30% nerf on that damage. Wow, the range is tiny now. 7.5? Okay. I mean, not that it's hard for Abrams to get on top of you, but that's still really small. Is now circular rather than just in front of him. Oh. The range no longer increases with spirit power. Okay. Visual range effects fixed to show show larger than default radius values. Oh, that's why you would randomly get hit outside of the radius, I guess. I didn't even know that was bugged. Lifesteal against heroes increased to 80%. Why? Non-heroes increased. Why? Why? Tier 3 now also increases radius by 3.5. So let me get this straight. Now if you max Siphon, which a lot of people did, you now have a bigger AoE than you did before, and it's a 360 instead of just a cone. Anyway. Shoulder charge, damage reduced, that doesn't matter. Stun duration. Okay, the stun duration actually matters, but they probably moved it to something else. Alright. 0.3 is big. Spirit scaling reduced on charge to 1.4. Oh, they took the damage off of his T1 charge. No more 2.2 weapon damage for 8 seconds. Now it's just 40% slow. But that could arguably be even worse. Okay, imagine the following, guys. You get shoulder charged into a wall by Abrams, and he has, like, slowing hex. You literally can't fucking move for the next, like, 3 seconds. You will go nowhere. Literally nowhere. And then they move the extra stun duration to the T2 charge. Okay, so the T2 charge actually stuns for a longer total duration than the old charge, right? No, the old one was 1.05. No, it is longer. Yeah, okay. So the total stun duration is longer. You now can't move for 3 seconds after you get out of the stun. And he can charge more often. Inferno Resilience, T2 increase. Okay. He just gets free debuff resist with Infernal Resilience. What the fuck is going on, dude? There's no way. There's no way. Why? Oh my god. Seismic impact is a little faster to target location when rising. Impact damage increased. Now allows you to use items during it. Of course. Because why would the character with multiple CCs, being the tankiest fucking character in the game, one of the highest damage dealers with the most utility, not be able to just cast stuff while he's using his ult, which is the only time he might actually be vulnerable during the entire game? I get it. It's fucking genius. Why didn't I think of this? Next time when he ults, let's just turn him into a fucking Apache helicopter with rockets that he can just shoot down from the sky and kill everyone anyway, before he even touches the goddamn ground. My fucking god, man. Now you're cooking, dude. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Look, I'm not... The character is going to do less damage, okay? Abrams will 100% deal less damage than he did before because the losing the 2.2 weapon damage on T1 Chard is a lot of damage, right? But I just don't think you're going to be able to move, right? Like, you're just going to get shoulder charged. The T1 is a 40% slow, so you're stunned, right? You're stunned for... what is it now? It's a 0.3 stun, but after that, you will have less options to get away. So the total time you're technically CC'd actually went up. So you get out of the charge if it's T1 0.3 seconds faster, but then for the next 3 seconds, you're 40% slowed. And he doesn't even have to be looking at you anymore for his siphon to be hitting you. And it's going to do roughly the same damage as it did before in the mid-late game. Plus, now in the late game, he's even better than he was before because he just gets a free 20% debuff resistance. And he can cast items while he's fucking ulting. And his lifesteal steals more health. It steals like 25% more from the people that he's attacking. And it's a bigger AoE and a 360 around the character. Like, look, guys. If you are, for whatever reason, watching this stream and you don't have arms or legs, I got a character for you. I got a fucking character for you because this is it. You don't have to look at the person. You don't have to even fucking have him on your goddamn screen once you get max siphon. You're going to kill him. You're going to kill him. It gets better. Okay, when you say it gets better, you probably mean it gets worse, right? Is he at least a little worse than Lane? No. Okay, let me say it this way. He will do less damage in lane by like a pretty good amount. You won't get one shot by shoulder charge anymore. It's just that when he takes the T1, you're going to die slowly instead of dying instantly, which may change some outcomes. I'm not going to lie. That might change some outcomes. But past the early game, he is just better. He's just better. Just better. All right. Fix riposte not leaving the ground when starting on the ground. Riposte no longer triggers from trooper or neutral damage. Flawless Advance T2 no longer increases Apollo's lunge speed. Now it gets interrupted by stun and sleep. Okay. Good nerf. A tiny little sun-based damage reduced to 190 and spirit scaling increased. Okay, so he's yeah, you know, because the character that supposedly doesn't scale needs scaling. Of course. Tiny little suns hit with no longer scales, the radius increases. Okay. He's OP in low ranks. Abrams is the same as he's ever been. He's probably actually better overall than he was before. Bebop Hook can now be cancelled. Billy Bashdown radius decreased. 1.3 radius to 1 charge and plus 2 meter radius. So that means it's bigger. Yeah, because it lost 0.5 and then he gained 0.7. So instead of so it went from 4.5 to 4.7 meter, and now he gets the extra charge at rank 2. Okay. I mean, that's a buff. I don't know why he's getting buffed, but he's being buffed. Rising ram damage reduced. T3 also now reduces charge time by 2 seconds. Okay, so Bashdown maxing is like better than it's ever been. By the way, Bashdown is just the way that you should have been playing the character anyway. It's just crazy OP. Because when you get hit by a Bashdown, like let's say you use stamina, and then you get hit by the 1, you basically get redirected to the ground. So you can't... If you get caught mid-dash, you just get fucking smushed into the concrete and you don't actually move. Which means if you're spamming Bashdown, you have to time it perfectly to get out, and even with that, if you don't have like substam, you're just going to get chain hit. Right? So yeah, Bashdown is just better. More viable. Rising Ram cooldown reduced by 50% on impact. Rising Ram charge duration reduced. I gotta keep reading. There's gotta be nerfs in here somewhere. Rising Ram T1 change from on impact 50% cooldown to on impact 25% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Okay, so now Billy is just a god at low level. Because now with T, what is it? T2 bash down, T1 charge, you basically just deal more damage and a larger AoE, and you have 3 bashes instead of 2. You're literally just better once you get to that boon level. Like, better in every conceivable way. Alright. Rising Ram T3 from 6.5 to 8. Blasted Spirit scaling reduced. Blasted active duration no longer slows down the decay when doing bullet damage. Melee still extends it. Okay. Blasted passive radius no longer reduces enemy fight rate by 14%. Blasted tooltip simplified. Blasted T3 now also increases spirit scaling by 0.6. Chain gang reduction. Chain gang no longer grants 15 res. Cooldown is increased. Chain gang T1 minus 5 cooldown to 40% bullet and spirit. Okay, so T3 change from 2. That's 1 point. Each hero pulled in. Okay. No longer grants 90 damage on level 3 chain gang. Now also increases the radius by 5. Okay, so the TLDR is this. Billy is slightly weaker for like the first 5 minutes of the game. And then for literally the rest of the game, he is better. So it's just Abrams. It's the same thing they did to Abrams. They made him like a tiny bit weaker in the early game to make him substantially better for the rest of the game. Abrams only to Eternus, but you can only be crouched. I'd still win. Dude, it's gonna be so dumb. These characters, by the way, Abrams and Billy were already S tier. Like, Billy wasn't played as much. He was like a bit more of a specialist character. But make no mistake, Billy was fucking good. And they're just buffing them. I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Anyway. Bullets no longer have gravity and now fires an additional pellet right down the center. The center pellet is now considered the primary pellet for headshots. Okay. Gloom bombs have changed. The first grenade always lands in the middle. Gloom bombs projectile sticky radius from 10 to 15. Why? Gloom bombs cast delay reduced. Okay, so there's nothing but buffs. Gloom bombs T2 change from 16 to 75 bonus damage versus barriers. Okay, that's a nerf. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Leaping slash improved. Wait. Leaping slash improved targeting of dash to end early if near enemy heroes. Okay. Leaping slash can now dash vertically even while on the ground. That's also a buff. Leaping slash T2 changed from 40 damage to 300 souls on a hero kill. Leaping slash T3 changed from minus 50% CDR and hit to minus 50% CDR and 60 damage. Okay, so like, I mean, last hitting with Leaping Slash is just what you want to do now if you can. Her burst got nerfed pretty heavily. Like, the Gloom Bomb T2 thing is a huge nerf, because plus 16.2 damage per bomb, and I think you shoot 7 bombs with T3. That is a very, very big damage loss. Although I guess if you're getting kills with Leaping Slash, I don't know how hard that actually hits. Like, I'm pretty sure the majority of your damage is coming from Gloom Bombs and Shadow, whatever. But, I don't know. That one remains to be seen for me. I don't really play Calico, so. Alright. Ava can no longer manipulate movement if meleeing while midair. Ava now uses health bar modifier style for duration. Ava fixed camera, blah blah. Ava melee attack delay reduced from 0.04 to 0.00. Ava melee attack cooldown increased. Ava melee attack now goes the way you are looking. Ava now starts at a minimum speed and increases to maximum speed over time, resetting on taking damage. That is a good change. Well, it's good if you're not a Calico player. Hehehe, fucking cats, dude. Goddamn cat players. Ava now gradually recovers speed over time after taking damage rather than being slowed for the entire duration. Ava cooldown reduced from 45 to 30. Duration reduced. Fuck the cat. Yeah, so basically what it means is you can't... So before, in the middle of a team fight, you could just pop Ava and just flee. Like, you could just run, right? Now, if you try to do that, you will literally be a snail, especially if you're taking damage. You will get Giga Slid. Alright, Ava T2... Oh, they put the regen on the T2 now. Ava T3 changed from cooldown and health regen to a growing damage amp the longer you are transformed, up to 20% for 6 seconds. Alright, so the 20% damage on the T3 is kind of cool if you're cat maxing, but I don't really know what the skill build's going to be now. I'm not a Calico expert, so I'll have to wait for someone to figure that one out. I don't really know what to make of the Calico changes. They like nerfed her burst, but they gave her souls on kill by hitting Leaping Slash. That just seems really weird. Return to Shadows now allows for some vertical flight movement during channel. Why? The infinite mobility characters get more mobility. I don't understand. Alright, whatever. Celeste, gravity reduced from minus 20% to minus 28. Even less gravity? Okay. Air control and acceleration have been reduced to 38 and 12. Less air control and acceleration. Whatever, dude. Shining Wonder bounce range from 17 to 15. Shining Wonder linger duration from 4.5 to 3.25. Okay, the Shining Wonder nerf is pretty significant. This will make her easier to shoot, this line right here. But she's going to spend even more time in the air. She'll be easier to hit, but she's going to spend more time floating. Doorman gun now pierces to the target's 50% reduced damage. Call bell time between charges increased. Call bell no longer has impact damage. It was 40 with 1.0 scaling. Explosion damage is not. Okay, so it's all explosion damage. T1 bell is bigger. T2 has no longer has impact damage. Explosion from 40 to 75. Now increases with spirit scaling. +1 charge and 22-second lifetime. Causes the radius to continuously apply its slow. Okay. That is kind of weird, yeah. What is the slow on Bell? Isn't it like pretty... Isn't it only like 25 or something? I don't remember what the Bell slow is. Oh, it's 40. Okay, 40 is a lot. The other thing, too, is you can probably just like stack bells now, right? Yeah. You can stack bells and shoot him with the bullet that goes through, and then you just fucking do the Giga Boomba. Okay, Doorway now has a timer icon above the ability. T1 duration is from 10 to 15. Barrier duration increased from 8 to 12. Doorway distance now scales with spirit power. Wait, does that mean that he's going to be able to, like, door from across the entire map now? Oh my god, dude. I don't want to go into the well from my own fucking T2 walker. Like, please, God, man. I don't want to get sucked into the well from my own base. Cart is now 20% larger. Cart T1 from -8 cooldown to 60 damage. Cart cast range from 15 to 20. Luggage cart T3 changed from 45 damage and 117 to 1.2 second wall stun to 1.5 second wall stun and 15 cooldown. So it did lose wall damage, I guess. But here's the thing. The shit that made Doorman fucking annoying was him doing the vortex web shit that literally sucks you into another dimension, and that part of him got buffed substantially. So, I mean, Doorman's still good. Honestly, he might even be better than he was before. Oh my god, there's still so many more changes. Okay. Fixed issues where the cart would hit a target coming out of the hotel before they were supposed to be allowed to be hit, causing the cart to not properly drag the target. Hotel guest cast range increased from 6 to 7. Why? Hotel guest no longer goes on cooldown if the target dies during cast. Fixed enemies not always landing in the correct spot on return. Oh, that's a big change. Although that is a Doorman buff, by the way, because that part being bugged actually allowed you to live sometimes when you get hotel. Now you'll just never live. You'll just be dead every time. Alright, failure to check out damage reduced. T1 change from +2 cast range to -1 stamina and -25 second cooldown. Yeah, what the hell? That's toxic. T2 change from unstoppable while channeling to 1.5 stun on failure to check out and 150 damage. T3 change from -50 cooldown to unstoppable while hotel is occupied. 10 second cooldown on failure to check out. 10 second. Okay, so if they fail to get out, their ult is only a 10-second CD. Is that what that means? So they just get refunded all the cooldown to 10 seconds left? Okay. I mean, that's fucking good, but, like, I'm gonna be real. Unless they, like, killed Substam or something, no one's getting caught in that thing, really. Yeah, he's trying to kill the noobs. Alright, Dwifter. Ren damage range reduced. Ren cooldown increased. Ren spirit scaling increased. Ren bonus damage is now the melee range at close range. So you only do melee damage at close range, and spirit is the default. Okay. Ren T1 from 32 to 40. Ren T3 change from 45 bullet life steal. Through close range attack now silences enemies for 2.3 seconds. I mean, that's... For everybody who's not Wander, that is a huge buff. For like the Life Strike, Spirit Snatch, Toxic Bullet buyers, that is a gigantic buff. For Wander, it is a nerf. Stalker Mark duration reduced. T1 1% bleed to -8 bullet res. T2 from 22 fire rate for 6 seconds after ambush to +3 duration and -8 cooldown. Yeah, these are all buffs to the playstyle that he doesn't want to do. T3 mark is 2 charges plus 2 seconds to +2% bleed and -40% healing. Yeah, okay, so now if you're doing the Life Strike, Snatch, Toxic shit, that build is giga buffed. It is so fucking good now. Your Ren's gonna hit harder even though the cooldown is like slightly longer. You're gonna silence people when you teleport to them with your Ren, so you don't even need to worry about being CC'd, you're just gonna fucking kill them. And your Stalker's Mark is gonna do even more damage than it did before. Need I remind you guys, just yesterday, I took like 1,300 damage from one Stalker's Mark. With Spirit Resilience, by the way. This ability is literally just going to kill you from fucking 100% HP. You're just gonna die. You get hit by Stalker's Mark now, you're dead. You're just dead. Debuff remover or killed. Blood Scent now grants Drifter the same amount of permanent bonus weapon damage when an isolated hero dies nearby, whether Drifter gets the assist or the kill. Blood Scent permanent bonus weapon damage gained per isolated hero reduced from 4% to 3%. Okay. Blood Scent T2 change from isolated kill reduces cooldown by 15 seconds and restores 3 stamina to isolated death restores 18% of missing health and restores 2 stamina. Oh no. No. I don't want this, man. I don't even want to queue. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to... If I see this hero on the other team, bro, I'm literally tabbing out of the game. Eternal Night now makes the targets be considered as isolated. Night Sprint reduced from 3 to 2. Eternal Light no longer has 7 spirit damage proc. Eternal Light cooldown increased from 120 to 125. Oh my god, dude. How did they make this character even more cancerous? Eternal Night T1 changed from 6.3 to 10 meters sprint. Okay, so the second you hit ulti, you can sprint at plus 10 meters. What? I don't understand, bro. That's the T1, guys. That's the T1. That's the T1. And then he gets all his freaking cooldown back and then some with the next tier. And it lasts longer. Nah, there's no way the devs play the game. There's no way the devs have logged in a single time to Deadlock in the past, like... How long has Drifter been in the game, guys? Yoshi's just trolling, man. When is April? Because this has got to be an April Fool's joke. There's no fucking way. There's literally no fucking way. Doesn't last longer, just the same at T3. No, isn't it 0.5 longer? Isn't it 0.5 longer? Maybe I'm misreading. Oh, he lost half a second by the fall. Okay, whatever. Whatever, man. Like, what? That character is going to be like Omega Turbo Cancer. Alright, Dynamo bullet damage increased. Okay, we're buffing Dynamo's gun. I guess so. Kinetic Pulse cooldown increased. Kinetic Pulse damage increased. Pulse range reduced. Pulse range no longer scales with spirit scaling. Okay. So it doesn't go across the entire map anymore. At least at level 1. It hits harder though, like a lot harder, like way harder actually. T1 is +1 charge. T2 is 30% bullet damage. It reduces enemy bullet resistance by 18% and movement speed. Wait, that's just way better. That's just like a gigantic fucking buff. Like what? 18? 18 shred. 18 is like crippling. That's a 6k item, bro. Dynamo is never gone, guys. Bought sold egg 800 times. Also a spirit column with more gun buffs than God. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, we're still reading the notes. So Dynamo has been like turbo omega giga buffed so far. We have more changes to read though. T3 to 104 damage to 135 damage and 60 meter cast range. Okay, so like the stomp range at max level is 32, which is still pretty far. But if you get hit by a stomp now, you're just dead. You get an 18% shred, bullet shred, you can't move, and it's going to hit roughly like 25 to 30% harder per stomp. So like the Dynamos who are doing the rapid recharge headhunter stuff, that build is like omega good now. Because you're going to get an 18 shred for free on top of your stomp damage, and you're just going to headshot them, and they are going to literally explode like Mega Man. Like little fucking energy balls that go pew, 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 pew. That's going to happen every time you get stomped. So enjoy that. Alright. Entanglement no longer gives fire rate, no longer reloads ammo. Base ability now restores 1 stam. I wonder if that's for everyone who gets hit. Probably is. Entanglement ally distance increase from 10 to 13 meters. Range increase from 9 to 10. Yo, you're going to be entangling for fucking days. 3 extra meter range in total with the T1. And it's more cooldown. Or, sorry, less cooldown. I'm entanglement T3 change from -5 120 ammo. Dispels non-ult debuffs for... That's so good. That's a fucking team-wide dispel, guys. Team-wide. Alright, Rejuvenating Aura now lingers. Now lets you jump while using it. Rejuvenating Aurora T1 change from 4 movement speed for 8 seconds to Aurora provides 4 movement speed during channel. This Dynamo hero is so fucking insanely OP now. This character is like the best character in the game. Deadass. This character is literal god. Increases the duration by 1 second. Singularity no longer does max health DPS. DPS increased by 35. Singularity DPS... Okay. Alright. They just moved it all on the back end. Okay, so like here's the thing, right? Maxing Entangle right now because... Okay. I don't think you ever really max Stomp. I think you 2-point Stomp, you max Entangle, and then you can either max ulti or 3 after. I think that's probably the build you do every game. Because 2-point Stomp gives you your Shred. It gives you the minus movement speed or whatever when you hit them, so you get your damage. And the other important thing to remember here is that since Dynamo is basically a support hero over everything else, the Shred is way better than the bonus bullet damage that you got for hitting someone with a Stomp. So like when you hit somebody with a Stomp now, it's minus 18 bullet res for everyone in your team shooting that guy. Which is 1,000 times better than just getting 30% bullet damage for your chud-ass self, especially if you're building support. So if you're a support Dynamo, this is like literally the best the character has ever been by like a gajillion miles. Like it's not close. This character is fucking like triple S plus God King Skovald character. Just absolutely insane. Choosing your first level 3 is so important. I mean, I'm fine with there being like weight on the decision making of what you max, but I'm gonna be real. Dynamo probably only has 1 build now. Like there are still gonna be psychopaths who go for the max stomp because they go, haha, big stomp, XDDD. But those guys are fucking trolling. Like, max Entangle is unironically so fucking OP, and the cooldown is shorter, it's a longer range, and it dispels your whole fucking team. And now just even having 1 point into heal allows you to be fully mobile while channeling Healing Aurora, like... The character is just insane. Like, it's... Yinliner is gonna hit rank 1. Like, he's gonna hit rank 1. Because he's gonna realize it and be like, oh shit, this is just insane. I'm playing my character. Alright. Gray's Grasping Hands is now set up to work through proper alternate cast methods and be more responsive. Mobilizing hands duration reduced. Hands cooldown reduced. T2 hands change from 0.75 duration to 90 damage and 10 meter wall length. Holy fuck, that's really big. 5 on each side, I guess. Grasping hands, T3 from 15 wall length. Okay, so they actually... I didn't know that was on the T3 before. Alright, so now the wall is slightly smaller, but it CCs for a total... It's 0.75 duration longer at T3, and the cooldown is 6 seconds shorter. Yeah. Okay. So it lost 5 meter length, 6 seconds shorter CD, 0.75 longer root at T3. Alright, Haze, Spirit per Boon reduced. Haze Sleep Dagger, move speed reduced from 2 meters a second to 1.5. Oh, that's below the movement speed. Like the cap to how low a movement speed you can have, it's actually below cap, because you're only ever supposed to get slowed to 2 meters. Like that's the slowest you're ever supposed to be. That is actually slower than the slowest you're supposed to be able to be. Wake up delay no longer increases spirit scaling. Cooldown increased by 4 seconds. Sleep duration reduced. T1 change from remove stamina to -8 bullet res. T2 is cooldown stam to -15 seconds cooldown. T3 change from -12 bullet res and 35 fire rate for 6 seconds on wake up to 0.75 sleep duration, -50% move and dash slow for 2.5 seconds on wake up. I mean, that is really good. Like, T3 dagger actually kind of fucks now. But level 1 and level 2 dagger are insanely shit compared to what they used to be. So they basically like gutted T1 and T2 dagger, but T3 dagger is actually very good. Smoke bomb cooldown increased. Smoke bomb spirit scaling reduced. What the fuck? Smoke bomb no longer has... Okay, they just put it on the T1 smoke bomb. T2 change from 10 bullet lifesteal to 2 charges. Okay, I see what they're doing now. Okay, this makes more sense now that I'm reading more. Smoke bomb T3 change from enable 2 charges. Dispels non-all debuffs and grants 30% lifesteal. Okay. I mean, I kind of see the vision. It makes a little bit more sense. Smoke bomb T3 also now grants +1 charge. Okay, so you get 3 charges by default for maxing Smoke Bomb. Fixation reduced from 0.2 to 0.18. T1 Spirit Scaling for fixation from 0.37 to 0.8. Wow, that is a lot. Okay, they are very heavily leaning away from M1. 50 damage, 40 T3 from... Okay, so they just put the damage back on the T3. Bolt Dance Fire Rate reduced. Now has 60% evasion baseline. Pause champ? Bullet Dance duration, Spirit Scaling, okay. They put the damage on the T1 again, okay. They just moved the damage. Now also increases fire rate by 10. T3, we're back, boys. We're fucking back. The +1 target, dude. We're so back. Yo, Haze is actually probably sick right now. Low-key, Haze is actually, like, giga. You will be judged. On God. I like this, though, because, okay, so I'll explain. Before, the ganking Haze, you still pretty much just maxed Fixate. Like, there was no reason to max Dagger. There was no reason to max Invis. And there was no reason to max ult. So you pretty much just max Fixate no matter what build you played, right? Even if you were ganking, you would pretty much do the same build. Like, the only difference would be you would either go 2-1-2 if you were ganking, or you would go 1-0-3. Yeah, 1-0-3. And then you would immediately put a point into Invis for the speed, and then you would put a point into ulti, and then your second point into Dagger, if you were playing, like, normal farmy Haze, right? Now, the rank and ganked build is actually completely different, because there's reasons to max Dagger, and there's reasons to max Invis, which they didn't exist before. So it seems like a pretty big theme of this patch is making it so, like, the T2s and the T3s especially have, like, actual value, because a lot of character builds were pretty rigid. They didn't change much. Like, you weren't seeing, like, just as an example, Mo builds were either maxing 1 or 2. There was literally nothing else, right? So now it seems like there's more valid choice among some of the other characters. Now, don't get me wrong. They're buffing shit that does not need to be buffed. Like, I would say probably 60 to 70% of the changes that I've read so far are completely unnecessary buffs to characters that were already way too fucking good. So if they keep that theme throughout every single character in the fucking game, then maybe we're okay. But up until this point, I think they've buffed shit that did not need to be buffed or changed, like, at all. This is the first one that I read that I actually thought was just, like, purely good. Like, thematically, this makes more sense. The character will probably be a little bit better, if not a lot better, because of this, and you'll have multiple avenues of gameplay. Like, whoever did this shit, that guy gets a raise. But, like, the Dynamo shit, the Abrams shit, the Drifter shit, like, these characters did not need buffs. But yeah, we'll see. We'll play and see how it feels. My assumption is that there's going to be characters that are just even worse to play against than they were before. But yeah. I appreciate the Doorman changes. I think the Doorman changes are, like, fine. I'm like, indifferent about that character. But, like, what they did to Abrams, what they did to Drifter, you know, Calico is kind of weird. Like, I didn't really get it. Just capping because I play Haze? What am I capping on, bro? Alright, whatever. Moving on in Furnace. Napalm spirit damage scaling increased. Amplified damage taken reduced. Lifesteal increased. Slam dash DPS spirit scaling increased. Minus 12 cooldown on T1. Okay. That actually nerfs his laning phase. It makes his farming better. TDPS increases trail duration by 1 second. Excuse me. Time between charges reduced from 20 to 14. Melee can now build up Afterburn. Let's go, guys. Melee and Furnace. It's time. Afterburn change from minus 20% spirit damage to 14 DPS. Oh? Wait, this character might fucking lane now. Plus 14 as a T1 is actually insane. T3 change from plus 23 DPS and max burn duration to base duration is the same, but can build up after igniting to grow max burn duration. Abilities only refresh up to the base. Wait, hold on. Base duration is the same. Okay. Can build up after igniting to grow to max burn duration. So basically, instead of just getting a plus 3 seconds, you have to work for the plus 3 seconds now? Is that what they're saying? Abilities only refresh up to the base. Right, so if you catalyst someone or you dash into them, it's only going to give you the base duration. If you want the old max duration, you have to physically shoot them to get it. You can't get it from the other stuff. That's what I'm taking away from this. I think. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think that's correct. Concussive combustion now causes camera to move back a bit. Combustion delay from 3 to 3.25. What do they want me to wait like a whole business day for my ult to go off, man? Alright, whatever. Okay, combustion T1 is now 100 damage. That's actually a pretty significant nuke now, though. 0.5 of 3 meter radius to minus 65 cooldown and 65% explosion heal. Plus 10 meter radius! Yo, that is a big boomba. Billy changes are a lateral move? They're not. That character is just better, buddy. Hate to break it to you. That character got buffed. He's like maybe 10% worse for like 5 minutes, and then he's like way better after that. Character is way, way, way better. Although you are a bit more ulti reliant now. I will say that. Ivy now has minus 10% gravity. Okay. Oh my god, they killed her gun. It's dead. It's killed. It's super fucking mega killed. Okay, her gun was already terrible before. Now it might actually be the worst gun in the game. Now renamed to Entangling Thorns. Thorns recharge time reduced from 8 seconds to 5. Spirit scaling reduced. Entangling Thorns T2 changed from 2 second duration, 2 meter radius. Oh, 2 meter radius and increases spirit scaling. Okay. Oh, by 0.5, not 0.05. That means the T2 brings it from 0.65 effectiveness to 1.05, which is like 80-something% more damage, 70% something more damage. 36 DPS and 2 radius to entangles enemies that remain in it for 2 seconds. Wait, entangles enemies that remain in it for that's the thing that I suggested. I think. Yeah, isn't it? Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. Watcher's Covenant renamed to Kudzu Connection. Kudzu Connection fire rate, spirit scaling. Bullet lifesteal, spirit scaling reduced. Ooh, 2 MS with a 1-pointer? Love that. I mean, this character is never going to shoot her gun anymore, but... Plus 8 fire rate and 8 lifesteal. Okay. Ability is now always active. This character is actually going to be insane, but it's going to be insane in a different way. Stoneform T1 change from minus 19 to 7 max heal, 68 damage to minus 25 second cooldown. Bro, you're going to be a rock for the entire game. The ability doesn't even have a cooldown anymore, bro. Minus 25? Your Stoneform's literally going to have like a 7-second cooldown with CDR. Airdrop cast time is removed. Instead, if you take damage, the ability will be unable to be used for 3.5 seconds. Oh, that's a big nerf. Okay. That's a very, very big nerf. 3.5 seconds is really long. Airdrop spirit scaling is nuked. Airdrop cooldown, oh, 65 seconds. Okay, so it's more of a retreat thing or like a sneaky thing now. You're not going to be able to just fly in like a chud and just nuke everyone. So that part of the hero got pretty nerfed, but now you can actually kidnap people, like your allies and stuff, to save them. The duration is also longer, so you can fly around longer, which is cool. The base speed is lower, but the max speed is faster. Oh, the bomb radius is fucking huge now. What the hell? 16 to 20 for free? Buff duration reduced. Drop ally cast range increased. Now grants you and your ally 20% outgoing damage after dropping. No longer has a fast explode expanding behavior. No longer causes a knock-up. That's a big nerf. No longer slows on explode by default. No longer provides barrier by default. Okay, so you have to hit them now? Okay, so you have to land this stuff for the barriers to go off. T1 change from minus 20% blow res on enemies to grants you an ally 300 barrier for 12 seconds. But that's only if it lands. I will say airdrop is pretty easy to avoid. Like until Vortex Web is on the field, which by the way, that's still the only build. It's just Vortex Web. They did increase her farming capabilities, so now she's going to be better at manipulating waves and like shoving the waves in. Like her macro game got like giga buffed. She's going to be very, very good at saving. A little bit worse at like team fight counter initiation, because if you get shot, you can't drop your bomb anymore. So like in high level lobbies, people are going to hear, because it's super fucking loud. Like everyone can hear Ivy ult, right? Like you'd have to be deaf to not hear it. You're going to get shot. Like there's no players, I would imagine, that are bad enough to miss you with every single bullet. They only have to hit you with one. And then you can't let go of whoever you're holding for 3.5 seconds. So it's going to be interesting. I think this character is, for how people were playing her before, this character is going to be better. But Gun Ivy is now in the grave. It is just dead. Like, you might still buy the Backstabber, or I guess it's called Stalker now. You might buy that still and Headhunter, but you are never building another gun item after that. There's just no reason. But depending on how good the new Kudzu is, you might not even do that. We'll see. No, it's the opposite, Greedy. You can't use airdrop really to initiate anymore. Airdrop is way better at saving now than it is at like actually being used offensively. Because if they see you and they shoot you on the way in, you cannot drop who you're holding. Like, that's not good. Yeah, think about it. Like, if you fly in, right? First off, it makes a shit ton of noise. Like, if an F-16 flew over your head, that's how fucking loud Ivy is. They're gonna hear you, right? So if you're coming in and you want to try to get on top of their heads to drop an airdrop, and they shoot you, you can't let go. You cannot let go. Yeah, it's the drop, not the cast. Wait, let me read it again. Let me make sure I have it right. Oh, I read it wrong. You guys are right, actually. I read it wrong. Airdrop cast time is removed. Okay, so yeah, okay, I read it wrong. You guys are right. I read it wrong. I mean, this is fine, honestly. This actually is probably overall better than the way that I interpreted it the first time, because now you can actually, yeah, okay, this hero is just really good. Yeah, it's good. The Ivy is fucking crazy good. Giga OP. Giga OP. Frost Grenade now impacts on Ice Path. Frost Grenade radius reduced from 6.5 to 6. Grenade cooldown now increased from 20 to 30. Now starts with 2 charges. Okay. Oh, now heals in the base ability. Big. No longer 40% stam reduction. 1 charge increases damage and heal by 30. Okay. Yo, this hero might actually kind of fuck again in lane. Frost Grenade T2 change from provides healing to freezes stamina regen and my wow. Okay, this is crazy. Yo, we might be playing Kelvin again. T3 nade to increases damage and heal spirit scaling by 1. Yo. Ice Path is now cancelled on the ability button press instead of space. That's gonna fuck me up, bro. I'm gonna die to this. My muscle memory is gonna get me killed, but it's fine. Alright. Ice Path cooldown increased. Ice Path incline decline speed increase. Yo, okay. Ice Path T1 from 4 sprint to 2 movement speed and 30. Yo, this character is actually unkillable. You're never killing Kelvin again. He's literally immortal every game. He's actually immortal. Okay. Arctic Beam visual clarity improved. Arctic Beam now lets you cast Frost Grenade and items while using it. That's crazy. I wonder if you can reload while yeah, Kelvin is like actually OP again. Alright, 33 DPS to 20 DPS and 0.6 scaling. Now also reduces the cooldown by 13 seconds. Okay, so Arctic Beam... alright. That's a 15-second baseline cooldown. With cooldown and duration, you might be able to permabeam. I think you can literally permabeam. Well, close. Maybe not like 100% of time, but fucking close. Frozen Shelter can now be cancelled without canceling Ice Beam. Love that. Frozen Shelter is now an 8-meter unit target. Creates the dome around the center of both heroes. Can be self-casted to create it around yourself. That's actually fucking cool. Yo, this hero, I'm playing Kelvin, bro. Frozen Shelter duration decreased. Minus 25-second cooldown. Now also dispels not all debuffs on cast, affects you and allies. Yeah, Kelvin's back. Kelvin is so fucking back. That character is crazy good. I guess they're just going with the buff every character to the moon strat. Essence Bomb self-damage changed from 30 to 1.8 to 30% of the damage. The base is 90 plus 1.2 scaling. Essence Bomb radius reduced by 2 meters. Get fucked. Oh, they just put it on T2 Essence Bomb. Alright, these are all just like numerical changes. They didn't really... Oh, Life Drain also increases spirit scaling by 0.3 on T3 Life Drain. That actually is kind of big. You might see Drain build again. Max Drain. Wait, Soul Exchange T2 changed from 35 fire rate to silences enemies within 25 meters for 3 seconds. 25 meters is fucking big, no? That's like big as fuck. Silences enemies to on cast 60 spirit power, 40% fire rate, and 50%. Jesus Christ. Yo, max soul exchange is fucking giga. Fucking giga. Lash. Increase sparkles. Let's go. Fixed ground strike against players brought down from midair, not doing damage. God damn it. Stop buffing Lash. Alright, grapple weapon damage, 20% fire rate, 6% air control to +1 stamina on usage. Wait, isn't that what he had before? Like way back? Attack angle no longer increases with spirit power. Alright, all this stuff is like very small numerical angles. Flog T2 now also increases fire rate by 30%. Flog T3 no longer reduces fire rate. Damage reduced by 6. T3 now also increases attack angle by 40% and heal by 20%. Okay, so max Flog heals you for a shit ton now. Fixed Death Slime camera sometimes being obstructed. Death Slime throw distance no longer scales with spirit power. That slam cooldown increased. T1 slam throw distance +4. Nice. Now I can get pulled from my own well into their well. Very cool. That slam P3 now also increases cast range by 10 meters. Bruh, can we not, dude? Can we just not? Can we just not? I'm just gonna ignore that whole segment. Oh, McGinnis upgraded to bucket 2. Let's go. That's actually fairly big for her. Bullet damage. Okay, her gun got kind of nerfed, but she still has one of the better guns at low level. Yo, turrets last 11 more seconds. Ah, they're way weaker. Okay. Now have 35% melee res. Mini turret tracking, angle, and projectile speed significantly improved. Oh god, dude, I'm gonna get fucking aimbotted. On the minimap, now flash and turn red when they are attacking. That's a nerf, by the way. You don't want that if you're a McGinnis player. 10 meter attack range and 10 DPS for the tier 1? Bro, I'm gonna get pew-pewed to death. I'm never looking at another McGinnis, man. If I see a McGinnis in lane, we lock eyes, we do this, I'm leaving. I'm just leaving. I'm never looking at this fucking hero again. 2 extra charges at T2, 30% fire rate, and 12-second. Okay, so her turret duration went from, what was it before? 38 total. Now they last for 47 seconds baseline. Medicinal Spectre no longer scales with Spirit Power. Duration no longer scales. Radius no longer scales. Regen now scales with Spirit Power. Cooldown increase no longer provides stam recovery. 30 fire rate to 40 spirit resistance. 4-0 for a tier 1. That is so much. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing about this character now. If she puts turrets down and has a heal, literally walk away. Walk away. Don't even bother. Like, literally do not. She has that space. She's keeping that space. Don't fucking look at her. Don't think about her. Don't do anything. Just leave. Just fucking walk away, man. Wait, Medicinal Spectre T2 now also increases stamina recovery by 100%? 100%? Buh. Dude, she's gonna be in her Medicinal Spectre just fucking bouncing on it with like 35 turrets that last for an hour that can't miss. I get dived all game with McGinnis? Okay, so like the spirit characters that would try to dive you before, they're not gonna be able to do that anymore, man. 40% spirit resistance on a T1 fucking heal. You'll be able to have 2 extra turrets no matter what build you do now too, because it's just put on the fucking ability. Is it T1 or T2? I forget. It's T2. Yeah, so even if you only have T2 turrets, you also have to remember your turrets in the early game deal way more damage than they did before, and you have more of them just for free, right? So if you're 2 turrets, 1 heal, you get 40% spirit resistance, just baseline. Your Medicinal Spectre is scaling more than it was before without any investment, because you're going to buy Spirit if you're going to go turrets anyway, right? So your Spectre early is actually better than it was before, and you have Giga Resist. Your turrets hit harder, but they have a little bit less fire rate. But you are significantly tankier, and you're a better, you've been upgraded 1 bucket, which means your stamina consumption is better. Like, you go farther, you can juke better, blah, blah, blah. You move, your movement is going to be more fluid. Spectral wall segments can now be destroyed with 2 heavy melee hits. Destroys an individual segment. Is that actually even, like, does it even matter? If you have to heavy melee twice to get out of the wall, you're fucking dead. Like, I don't even know if that's gonna matter. Minimum wall range to 5, that's a buff. 2 people? Yeah, if 2 people punch 1 segment, it's good. But if you're just solo walled, you're dead. Applies its slow to enemies it passes through while being summoned. I'm getting slowed by a wall that's not even there? It's not even there, but I'm getting slowed. Yo, that's fucked up. Damage amp per 20 no longer drains 1 stam, but it lasts for 2 seconds longer. Creates 2 turrets for 8 seconds and increases slow by 30% when you hit a wall. This is my nightmare, dude. This is my fucking nightmare. This is literally my nightmare. There's no way it can't be like this. This can't be it. This literally cannot be it. This cannot be up. No, 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 no. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Although I might play McGinnis now because it sounds so fucking cancerous. Like I could just be the biggest piece of shit, man. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, well, we'll see, we'll see. This character is gonna be fucking annoying though. Holy shit. Heavy barrage duration reduced from 13 to 8. Minimum barrage range reduced. Tooltip update to clarify that it also reduces dash distance. Movement dash slows. Oh wait, the movement is less severe. The dash slow got increased. Slow duration reduced from what to 1.5. Cooldown reduction from 45 to 55. Now also increases duration by 6 seconds for the second point. More damage, better scaling, bigger explosion radius. Okay. I actually can't believe they kept that ability on her. PvE lane against McGinnis? Yeah, you literally do not... Interacting with McGinnis is just impossible now. Mina stamina recovery reduced. Rate cooldown increased by 6 seconds. God damn, that is actually a huge nerf. Hero hit with missing health is damage increased to 35. Heal per kill reduced. Spirit scaling reduced. T1 of 20 per kill to 60 damage. Okay, so it seems like there's another theme that I've noticed in this patch is that they're making the short cooldown abilities longer cooldowns, but they're making them all hit harder. So you're not getting spammed anymore. You're just going to get nuked in one frame. Yeah, we'll see. I'm very skeptical on a lot of this stuff. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I'm going to play, of course. But a lot of these changes, I don't understand what their vision of the game is, because everyone's just getting free damage. And a lot of the changes just seem obscene. Like, we'll see though. Single Retreat now has a cast range reduced by 1. Single Retreat recast window increased. T1, 3-meter cast range to 20, fire rate, and 8 bullets. That's actually a nerf for her mobility. It's a pretty big nerf. She lost 4 total meters. Oh. They gave her a 3rd teleport at T3. You know, in the back of my head, I'm just thinking the devs have to be doing this on purpose just to say fuck you to the community, right? They're literally buffing shit that everyone's complaining about. Like, it has to be intentional. Like, there's no way, bro. What does everybody hate about Mina? Her mobility. So what did they do? They buffed it. What did everyone hate about Abrams? The fact that you can't kill him, and he's a chud who requires, like, no hands to play. They buffed him, and they made him easier. You don't even have to look in the fucking direction of the character anymore, bro. You got a 360 siphon life that heals for more. It heals for more. This is very funny. All right, anyway, moving on. Love Bite's cooldown increased. Love Bite's damage reduced from 6 to 4. Love Bite's spirit scaling increased. Bonus damage reduced. That is a huge scalar increase, though. This is 50% more scaling. Bonus damage spirit scaling increase as well? Okay. I mean, her laning will be, like, slightly worse, but thank the Lord time to reinstall, bro, you don't even understand. Like, I've never been more skeptical of a patch in my life. I'm gonna have to play the game. But I don't know what's going on. Alright, anything else huge here? T1 changed from 4 movement speed for 3 seconds to on proc 30% slow. Okay. T2 damage bonus got nerfed. T3 from -1 stamina 30% slow to -4 second cooldown on proc and fire rate for 5 seconds. Wait, she just does even more damage, bro. So she does more damage and she's more mobile. And the only thing they changed was making her laning phase like a tiny, tiny bit worse. They buffed Mina? They buffed Mina. They buffed... Okay, let me rephrase. They buffed her burst, her mobility, her laning phase is a little bit worse, but her scaling is better. They buffed literally everyone? Yeah, so far it's been pretty much just buffs across the board. Mirage bullet damage reduced. Fire Scarabs no longer have a limited duration to launch each one. Functions as a normal charged ability. Oh, that's a buff too. Scarab's collision and model size increased. Base Scarab charges 4 to 2. Scarabs now immediately steal health from the target. Max health steal from 45 to 70. 10 damage amp on that target from any damage you deal. Why? This is already like the best M1 in the game. Why is he getting buffed? Fire Scarab's T1 change from minus 45 to 50 max health steal. Minus 8 to 2 charges. Yo, Scarab Mirage is gonna kind of fuck low-key. Yeah. Scarab maxing is actually maybe even a thing now, because it's 20% damage amp. The bugs scale way better, and they're just up all the time now. So you can, like, just fuck people. The Scarabs! You're just gonna be doing this all fucking game, bro. The Scarabs! Yeah, but he's gonna fuck even harder than he did before. He's unironically better. No longer have a reduced effect against non-heroes. So they buffed his farming capability. They turbo buffed his lane. His lane is just like far and away better than it was. Because even if you're going Spirit, 10 damage amp is better for the Spirit 4.8k spike than a minus 8 bullet res. It didn't do anything for you before. They slightly reduced his gun scaling, like just very, very slightly. But the 10 damage amp pretty much more than makes up for the deficit that you're going to get up here. Yeah. Balancing on lower ranks? I don't think they give a shit about balance. I can't read these notes and take it seriously as far as like competitive balance. I look at these notes and I go, they're just doing it for fun. They're just doing it for fun. Wait, hold on a second. Where was I? Tornado renamed to Dust Devil. Lift duration reduced to 0.4. Spirit scaling reduced. Dust Devil now slows affected enemies by 30% for 3 seconds. Bullet evasion increased. Or duration increased, and then evasion increased by 5. 60 damage. T2 changed from 14 cooldown to minus 8 and 30% evasion. So you just now have 60 bullet evasion after casting the Dust Devil? 20% bullet to can recast within 5 seconds. Increases spirit scaling. Wait, this character can go spirit now, like low key. Alright, hold on. I mean, this character is going to be absurdly crazy giga OP. Though I've said that about a lot of characters, so. Jin's mark cooldown increased to 3 seconds. Mark multiplier duration increased from 5 to 5. Mark reveal duration increased from 3 to 6. Wow, that is long. Jin's mark tooltip rewritten to be based on a per stack basis. A stack increases the damage by 200%. This is just tooltip change. Mark T1 60% slow to 0.5 on 2x stack to 60% fading slow over 0.5 seconds. T2 mark is 8.1 damage to 20. Okay. T3 cooldown minus 0.75 to minus 1. Now also stuns for 0.5 at max stacks. Ew, don't do that. That's just fucking mean, man. Oh, Manhattan is my breeding grounds, guys. What can I say? 40 Jin! Cooldown reduced by 10 seconds. Traveler can now be cast while on the zipline. Traveler no longer channels and has a 3-second delay before teleporting. Taking damage interrupts the ability and puts it on cooldown for 6 seconds. So you can be running around while you're channeling now. Traveler now targets a location on the minimap rather than units. Places you at ground level, okay. Traveler no longer gains 2 movement speed. Or no longer grants 2 movement speed in 26 fire rate. T1 change from movement speed and minus cooldown to 3 movement speed for 12 seconds. Traveler T2 change from grants Traveler buffs ally to 400 barrier for 12. Dude, this character is going to literally be a terrorist, man. It's going to be a terrorist character. Oh my god. I mean, they kind of changed his gameplay a lot, though. He's going to be a lot less boring. he look, the thing about this character now is like he's gonna be everywhere all the time. The cooldown on Traveler is way shorter. You don't have to stand still. You don't have to stand still. You're gonna be all over the fucking map. You're gonna be throwing beetles. You know what this is? The entire enemy team is gonna be Brendan Fraser's, and you're gonna be the mummy. You're just gonna be throwing bugs at people and just murdering them off cooldown. That's literally what's gonna happen, dude. This character is so insane. Imhotep maxing. Dude, it is! It's literally what it is. Alright, let's read Mo. Alright, score and damage reduced, score and radius reduced, score and spirit scaling. Wow, what the fuck? 0.75? I guess they really don't like the buy QSR and burst every game angle. Minus 3 seconds cooldown to 35 damage. Okay. 21 damage to minus 5 second cooldown and 1 meter radius. Wait, they buffed Mo. I can enter the tunnels! Burrow T, 1 second duration at 50 spin DPS. Yo, Mo is fucking fucked now, dude. What did they do to this character? He's so OP. He was OP before. Alright, what's the T3 now? Okay, the T3 they didn't really change. That's fine. Who said they killed Mo? Oh, they did not kill him. They made Mo way worse. Like, this character is way stronger in lane. His T2 abilities are even better than they were before, and they were already really good. He doesn't have to buy QSR burst every single game, although you probably still will, because it's going to be the biggest bang for your buck for damage and scoring. Like, you will probably still do the same build. Alright, what else? What else? What else? Sandblast range reduced. Okay, that's a pretty big nerf. 10 meters off Sandblast. 50 damage, 5 meter range. That is a useless upgrade. Minus 23 seconds cooldown to slows dash movement speed 25%. And then what is the T3? 1 second duration, minus 20 cooldown. Okay. You're never maxing Sandblast anymore. I mean, I guess you could, but like, why would you? The other abilities are so much better for the points. Like, you're basically, okay. Right now, the T1 Burrow and the T2 Burrow are both insane. The T1 Scorn and the T2 Scorn are both fucking crazy insane. But the T1 and the T2 Sandblast kind of suck. Even though the T3 is good, the T1 and the T2 are shit. So, like, you're basically wasting a bunch of points. So, you're pretty much never maxing Sandblast anymore. It just sucks. Combo duration, combo cooldown increased. Oh my god, they added a full goddamn minute. Okay. It makes sense now, the rest of the changes, because if they didn't do that stuff to Scorn and Burrow, and they made his cooldown 150 on combo, this character would be dead. So they had to buff the other stuff, because the combo cooldown is almost twice as long. Alright, so more DPS. 100% lifesteal on T1. 60 DPS and 50 bullet res for the T2. 0.7 duration and minus 60 cooldown. Okay, so at T3 combo, it is a little bit more damage. Actually, it's a lot more damage. Never mind, it's a lot. It's more damage, more resist, same cooldown. But you're giving up a lot. Actually, are you? Hold on a second. Hold on, let's think about this. You could theoretically do 2203, right? 2 point Scorn, 2 point Burrow, no points into Sandblast, and then max combo, right? Yeah, you go 2203, exactly. Now, I think what I would probably do, because if it were me, I'm definitely not putting points into Scorn early, because the T1 now is just lifesteal. That's kind of useless, right? You don't really care about the lifesteal. You can Scorn anyway, and your Scorn hits hard as fuck, so you shouldn't really die. And it adds no damage. So you probably don't put any points into Scorn until your 2 point spin and 2 point Scorn. Did I say that right? Yeah, no points in a combo until you have 2 points into Scorn and Burrow. But once you have that, you just max. You max combo. Alright. Conjure Dragon renamed to Bookworm. Bookworm fixed initial location, not starting when you click it. Cooldown increased. T1 change from cooldown to +2. Trail duration of 1 width. T2 to 2-second trail duration and -8 cooldown. 10 meter travel range. God damn, that shit's going to the end of the earth. DPS rescaled from 104 to 27 to 130. T3 now also grants 1 charge. Defend and fight renamed to plot armor. Plot armor barrier scaling reduced. Plot armor T3 now also increases spirit scaling. Captivating read height area no longer increases with range bonuses. I didn't even know it did that, bro. I didn't even know it did that. No wonder I'm getting rooted in the fucking skybox, man. Alright, anything substantial here? Captivating read cooldown increased from -6 to -11. That is a 5 extra seconds off cooldown. That's pretty substantial. Alright, I don't really care about Pidge. Alright, Paradox. Pulse Grenade. Pulse Grenade radius increases by +1 meter per pulse. Amper stack from 6 to 4. 4-second longer cooldown. Grenade scaling is lowered. -30 for 2 seconds to wait, 20% time slow. I'm guessing that's everything? That's probably everything, right? -12 cooldown. Okay, nade builds are going to be popping, guys. Nade builds are going to be popping. You're going to be able to grenade more often. It's going to deal more damage. It has better scaling, and it actually slows everything as opposed to just movement speed. Yeah, 4 damage ant per stack as well. Yeah, double Parabomb is going to be fucking giga. No, Paradox is not dead. These are all buffs. Okay, there's more to read, of course, but most of what I read so far is a buff. Time Wall no longer damages enemies going through it. Okay. Now increases allied bullet speeds going through it by 100%. Now adds 30% weapon damage to allied bullet damage. Affects Carbine. Okay. I mean, that's all buffs too. Okay, the damage... Okay, her pickoff is obviously going to be worse unless they added it back to her ability investment. 2.5... Okay, yeah, so swapping people through the wall doesn't actually do anything anymore. It's almost exclusively a utility ability. But T2 wall gives you 60 fucking % weapon damage if you shoot through it. 60% is not small. That is a fuck ton of weapon damage. That's almost a glass cannon worth of damage. You put up the wall, you pew pew through the wall, big damage. That's not bad. And they gave her wall charges again. So now she has multiple charges on her wall. Carbine wall snipes. This character is going to be extraordinarily hard to fight in close quarters. Because what's going to happen is she's going to put down a wall, and she's going to put a grenade on the wall. And you're going to be like, I can't walk forward. Because you're going to take a gajillion damage getting shot through the wall. And you're going to get time slowed if you try to go through the wall. It's not going to hurt you, but the nade will hurt you. And she will basically just delete you from existence with 1 billion+ damage from shooting through the wall. This character is probably going to be more of a pseudo carry now. See what else they did. I mean, she's just overall really strong now. She probably still has good pick. Alright, Carbine, speed scaling, base damage scaling went up. Shorter cooldown on Carbine. T3 now also increases charge hold time by 2 seconds. That's kind of cool. It means you can be more mobile. You can get your shots off easier. Swap cooldown actually got increased. No longer has lifesteal. 10% current HP on swap. Oh, current. Okay, that's kind of ass. Minus 15-second cooldown, a 200 barrier. Okay. V1 damage to 13 meter cast range and minus 35% or 35 cooldown. That's pretty good. That puts it down to 60 from 75. Swaps additional enemies in 7 meter radius and 10%. Okay, that is a grief ability, dude. Imagine you're playing a game and you swap a guy who's about to go around a corner and his whole team is there. And you swap the whole enemy team into your fucking dumbass. That's so funny. That's such high grief potential, bro. Whole team swapped into a dynamo. I mean, I'm not saying it's always going to be bad, but there's giga grief potential there. That's very funny. Barrage projectile speed increased by 15. Okay. Pocket buff, log in. Barrage now lets you use stamina during the ability. More pocket buffs, log in. Barrage now lets you use flying cloak during the ability. Okay, more pocket buffs, log in. They're buffing barrage damage. They're making the cooldown lower. They're increasing the radius. They're making flying cloak shorter CD by 6 goddamn seconds. Wait, that's so fucking much. That's like 20% CD. The cloak duration is longer. That's not really a buff. It's kind of just like whatever. Minus 14-second cooldown to 70 damage, okay, on the T1. 76 damage to 5 weapon damage upon cast for 8 seconds. Okay, so you don't have to hit, it's just on cast. 1.6 travel time and minus 14-second cooldown. Okay. Cloak CD is T3 now. Why Haze nerfs? Haze did not get nerfed, my friend. She got buffed. Believe me. Haze, if you read that and you think that Haze got buffed, you're just wrong. And that's okay. Haze is very, 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 very fucking good and way better than she was before. Enchanter's Spirit Satchel scaling increased. Wait, that's so much. 0.6 to 0.9? God damn. Still 0 to 2, 3? Yeah, probably. You're just gonna have to... Actually, I think you could maybe make an argument for just going more bursty now in lane because your cloak is going to hit giga hard at level 1. We'll see, though. Boundless Haze is going to do work. Haze is going to have more modes of gameplay, more versatile builds, and just be able to do more in the game than she could do before, I promise. I promise you Haze did not get nerfed. I love Haze. I would never lie about her. Except if I say she's bad, I'm doing that on purpose so Yoshi buffs the character. Which he did already, so mission accomplished. Alright, Satchel now reduces movement speed by 40% at T3. Satchel fire rate increased. Escape duration from 0.5 to 1.5. Is this character ever going to be attackable? Can you ever hit pocket? Is it possible? Is he ever vulnerable to damage? Does anyone know? He's going to be in a satchel the whole fucking game. Alright, no longer applies 12% current HP damage. That's a huge hit. Affliction DPS increased. Spirit scaling increased. Cooldown increased. Okay, only increase until you one-point it. T2 no longer has heal reduction. T2 Affliction now also increases radius by 4 meters. No longer increases radius by 6. T3 now prevents all healing. Yikes. Fucking yikes. And the other thing is because this is a... They overlooked... Okay. Alright, so... You remember how earlier we were reading all these abilities that said removing non-ultimate debuffs? Affliction is an ultimate, which means all that buff removal shit or debuff removal shit does nothing against this. This character is now Omega Giga. If you get afflicted now, you have two choices. You can tab out of the game because you're dead probably. Or you can try to run away. But you will be dead. You will die. You will literally never live through this unless you get DB'd. Like, okay, so imagine this, right? You're playing Oregon Trail. You get the option to cross the river with your caravan and your family, you know, and your fucking chickens or whatever. And you go across the river because you have to. You have to. Crossing that river and losing your whole caravan and your entire family is the equivalent of getting afflicted now. That's what it is. You get afflicted by pocket, that's what you did. You crossed the river on Oregon Trail, you killed everyone, even the goddamn chickens. They're all dead. Alright, Remlo Helper's Trooper base healing changed from 10 a second to 8. Delay between the heals has been reduced so the frequency of the healing is more constant. Even Magic Johnson ain't coming back from that. Yeah, we got dysentery, guys. It's fucking over. Helper's Trooper healing spirit increased, or scaling increased. Snap time, movement speed reduced. Snap time, sleep duration reduced. Snap time radius decreased. Okay. T2 changed from unstoppable and minus 35% damage resist while channeling to 0.5 second sleep duration and 3 meter radius. Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah, they took off the unstop. That was actually my main complaint about that hero, is that you couldn't do anything about nap time. They took that off, though, so I'm happy. Movement speed no longer scales with spirit power. Sprint speed increased from 0.6 to 1.8. Lightning Ball slows down less versus non-heroes. Previously it was 2 ms a second for all, now 3.5 for non-heroes. Lightning Ball fixed now doing damage if another ball was already hitting a target. I'm assuming that's supposed to say not dealing damage? So wait, the balls weren't stacking before, so you could technically have 2 of them on the same person. It was only dealing the damage of 1? Is that what they mean? That has to be what they mean. Stop trying to put your balls on me, man. Increases lifetime by 1 second. Static charge, damage reduced. Static charge, cast range reduced. No longer, or cast range no longer scales with spirit power. Yeah. They were and they weren't supposed to. Are you sure? That is not how I interpret that. All right, whatever. We can test it. T2 now also increases cast range by 5 meters. T3 now also increases damage by 160. Oh, I don't want to play against Echo Shard 7, man. Fuck off. Spirit Surge duration no longer scales with Spirit Power. Okay, they fucking killed Power Surge. I don't know why. -5 Spirit Res on T2 for 6 seconds to 3 movement speed, plus 8 damage, and improves Spirit Scaling. Oh. Oh. 3 movement speed, plus 8 damage. Oh, that is a crazy T2. 3 MS is actually so fucking much. -15% Spirit Resist for 8 seconds and 12-second duration. Okay. So he's more mobile. He does more damage to the one person that he hits when he gets to the tier 3. I mean, honestly, even T2 Surge is really good. Because if you have Surge Power plus Power Surge, that's what, 6 or 5.5 movement speed? That is a lot. That is so much. You're going to be fucking zooming. Storm Cloud allows movement in the base ability, 1.5 meters. Bullet resistance reduced from 20 to 0. Bullet resistance increased from 35 to 55. Increase movement speed by 3 meters. Was plus 3.8 before, okay. Shib. Stamina reduced from 3 to 2. Good, fuck Shiv. Stamina movement speed reduced from 6.7 to 6.5. Good, fuck Shiv. Okay, slightly better gun. Serrated Knives no longer has impact damage. Bleed DPS, oh my god, they more than doubled the bleed DPS. 1 charge, 2-second duration. Oh, good. Now if I get hit by 1 knife, I'm dead instead of 2. Great. Yeah, you only need to hit 1 knife now, you're just dead. Oh my god, that T2, he just has like 7 knives already. Increases spirit scaling by 0.10. Okay, knives are going to absolutely fuck. They're gonna fuck. Slice and Dice now reduces spear resistance by 6% for 16 seconds. Why? 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 Multiple instances stack. Alright. T2 dash. Wait, so it's -6 cooldown from 3 on the T1. The T2 dash is -8 spear resistance and plus 2 meter dash range. So you're getting hit by -14 spear resist if you get hit by 1 dash, and they like practically 2.5 times dagger damage. You're just gonna be dead the whole game. I mean, I have to play it to know. My instinct is that everything is going to be so absurd that it might feel like somewhat playable. We need a new letter for the best heroes. Yeah, it's gonna have to be like bald tier. Killing Blow is no longer unit targeted. You jump in the direction forward with some small control. Okay, actually, someone suggested this change. I forget who it was, but I was watching a stream and someone mentioned turning into this. So you have to actually aim your ulti now. Killing Blow T3 now grants you 20 seconds to recast the ultimate rather than removing the cooldown. Okay. I mean, 20 seconds is a long time. Oh, increases hit by 5%. Yeah, why not? You know, because we already gave you 14 fucking Magic Shred for free on your dash that now has a shorter cooldown. while your knives also deal 800 bajillion damage. You get a higher execute threshold that you can just indefinitely cast. I wonder if this is conditional on successfully executing, or if you can just recast as much as you want in 20 seconds after the first cast. It's probably the former, I would guess. Oh, they took her from that T2? Okay, whatever. I don't care. Fuck Shiv. Fuck Shiv. Not literally, of course. Mauling leak damage scaling reduced from 1.9 to 1.5. Fixed tail whack being considered a movement ability. Tail whack disarm duration reduced. Slow duration increased. T3 from 1 second disarm duration, 1.5 debuff duration. Okay, Lycan Curse cooldown increased. That's a good change. Base health bonus reduced. No longer grants resistances. Thank fucking god. No longer grants movement speed. Thank fucking god. Okay, she got nerfed. She actually didn't get buffed. Yeah, Derelict, I think so too. Alright, wow, there are a lot of Victor changes. Okay. Pain Battery now starts charged. Pain Battery range increased from 28 meters! Okay, that's really fucking far. Reduce randomness and projectile pass. Bolt count from 5 to 7. Okay, so you literally can't miss Pain Battery anymore, and it covers the entire lane. Now also increases spirit scaling by 0.6. Jumpstart. Okay, that's a longer cooldown. Movement speed reduced. Spirit scaling reduced. Okay. He gets his movement speed back from Jumpstart T1. Now also reduces the cooldown by 8 seconds, so it's actually 22 instead of 23, so that's a buff. T3 gives you 1 extra charge. T3 no longer reduces cooldown, now also increases spirit scaling by 0.8. 0.8 is actually a lot, that's so much. Okay. Max DPS time reduced from 10 seconds to 6. That means you take more damage, by the way. That means the amount of time it takes for his aura to be fucking you is 4 seconds shorter. So instead of having to be next to him for 10 seconds, you only have to be next to him for 6, and he's already, you know, he's giving it to you. Okay. Alright, just a random 2 extra meters on this, why not? For those of us without hands, of course. Toggle cooldown reduced to 2 seconds. Minimum DPS reduced. Minimum DPS scaling reduced. Max DPS reduced. Oh, that's actually a pretty big reduction. 754. Oh, the max reduction got nerfed to Giga. What the hell? Okay. Text progress bar indicates time to max DPS. Alright, they had to have done something else. I don't know why this character is getting nerfed. The Pain Battery stuff is good, but the rest of it's kind of nerfed. Well, I guess Jumpstart's better too. Alright. While on cooldown, 15 fire rate and 6 spirit damage per bullet. You heard it here first, guys. They've put in the first ability that is basically incentivizing you to feed. Go walk into a building so you get more spirit damage on your bullets and fire it. Go feed. 6 meter radius. 1 second stun minus 50 second cooldown. That is, okay, that is a big buff. It already did that? Yeah, but no one ever maxed it, right? Because that is fucking terrible. This is way better than the other one. Like, way better. Just for the cooldown alone, it's better. Alright. Vindicta. Fire rate no longer scales with spirit power. Bullet damage now scales with spirit power. Ammo reduced from 22 to 19. Bullet velocity increased. Stick damage reduced. Stick spirit scaling increased. Stick projectile speed. Wow, that is fast. Holy shit. Okay. Stick T1 to minus 35 fire rate to 65 damage. Tether duration increased from 0.5 to 0.75. Capture radius +1 to +2. Flight now allows you to use melee. Now allows parry to be used. Now grants you 50% item cast range. Flight duration reduced by 2 seconds. Oh, they gave it back for the T2. 10 spirit damage per bullet. T3 flight now also increases spirit scaling by 0.1. Flight now also refreshes duration on hero kill. Oh my. Crow Familiar now releases a swarm of crows and a cone forward, hitting all enemies along the path. Debuff duration no longer scales with spirit power. Debuff duration increased from 4 to 5. Bleed damage reduced from 2.7 to 2.2. Damage reduced, or no, increased, sorry, to 40. Cooldown increase from 28 to 32. T1 change from Ricochet up to 2 times to reduce his healing by 35%, right? Because you don't need that anymore, because it's... I mean, damn, bro. You get heal bane, you get hit by the birds, you're not healing at all. Imagine, like, the pocket sand, right? You know, you reach into your pocket and you go, sha-sha-sha, and then sand comes out. That's just birds now. It's pocket birds. That's what they gave her. T2 also increases bleed. Also increases debuff duration. Assassinate while scoped, no longer unscopes while using items. Okay. Assassinate now has a 4-second buffer on impact for bonus credit. Okay. I mean, that makes sense, since it's not getting you actual souls anymore, and now gives you just weapon damage. Is this enough to make Vindicta playable? I'm not sure. It might be. Vindicta's probably still not that great, though. We'll see. Maybe she is good now. I don't know. Viscous Splatter bounces once by default. Cooldown reduced. Spirit scaling increased. Splatter ground effect now increases slide distance by 60% for you and your allies. Multiple hit damage value reduced from 50 to 50, 38, 26. Okay. 1 extra radius. T2 cooldown reduction by 2 seconds. Spirit scaling increased by a fuck ton. Good lord. That is 0.9 extra splatter scaling. 0.9. That is a lot. Jesus Christ. Okay. The cube now has a very brief period where allies cannot cancel to prevent accidental cancels. Okay. Healing scaling from 0.14 to 0.3. T3 cube cooldown increase 21 to 25. Puddle punch now grants 30% air control when affecting yourself or allies. I hate that line. I hate that line so much that my butthole actually just went... It just, like, clenched up, dude. Yeah, Splatter is just gonna one-shot you now. Punch now acts as if it is close range with respect to item procs. Great. Now I can get fucking hammered by fists 14 times in a row for a gajillion damage. I like the sliding on goo. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's whatever. Punchy 2 to 1.5 meter radius and 30 damage. Goo Ball can no longer carry an urn. Goo Ball turn rate improved. Goo Ball can now use abilities and items. Oh god, they just gave it to him for free. No, dude, no, 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 no. Okay, the ball is way more vulnerable. That's good. Okay, the duration is pretty short. They took 5 seconds off of it in lieu of cooldown, which I think is... Yeah, like, I think they kind of had to do it that way. And you can actually maybe kill the ball now. Punch Viscous was already being played. It's not new. 6 second duration and 0.3 second stun duration. Oh my god, they're doing the Pango thing. Stop! I want to be able to move, man. They put Pango in my fucking Deadlock game, and he's green, and I hate it. Warden bullet damage per boon nerfed by like 15%. Chemical flask got a damage reduction from 30 to 25. T2 flask got buffed a little bit. Now also increases weapon damage reduction by minus 20. So it goes to 45. That is so much. No longer increases radius. Now also increases radius by 2. Yo, max flask is going to be so fucking cancer. Power duration reduced. Barrier now scales the spirit power and the base ability. Yo, Spirit Warden is back, boys. It's so back. 150 improves scaling to 40% debuff resistance and improves scaling. I mean, that's pretty good. Fighting word cast range reduced. One mobilize duration, 20% bullet damage to trap for 5 seconds. Minus 19 second cooldown to... Okay, so the thing about Binding Word is I don't know if when I'm reading cast range, if that also means the range they have to move. Because a 27 meter radius cage baseline without AoE would be massive. Silver got nerfed, yeah. They basically buffed every character in the game except for Silver so far. Minus 18 second cooldown and silences enemies until they escape or are trapped. I mean, that's OP. All right. So they pretty much just. I mean, Warden got buffed low key. I mean, not even low key. This is like high key. This character got buffed as shit. Maxing Cage now is so cancerous. Like, actually, maxing everything is good. Yeah, I don't even. I think if you're playing. Okay. There's actually more ways to play Warden now. Because the cast range is huge, right? It's 27 meters now with the max investment. Actually, that's only 2-point, right? Yeah, that's just 2-point investment. But if you're playing against escape characters, the tier 3 is unbelievably good. Like, Mina can't debuff remove it because it's the way that I'm interpreting this, and maybe I'm wrong, but I seem to think that it's just going to be a permanent silence that they can't remove, right? Like they're not gonna be able to remove it at all. They're just silenced inside of it, so they have to wait to physically be trapped by the cage and then hit DBR, which means they can't DBR before. So they're just vulnerable that entire time while they're in the cage AoE, which is because it's a persistent effect, right? You are just silenced until it's like getting black holed. You can remove it. Maybe you can remove it, yeah. If you can remove it, then it's like whatever. Warpstone stocks are up. I mean, Warpstone was always an insane item, but yeah. Last Stand now grants you unstoppable while channeling. That's the old one. That's the old one. Yeah, Warden is really good. Alright. Card tricks now have specific suites with special bonuses. Oh, suits, not suites. Why did I read that as suites? Suits with special bonuses. Card types, spades, 70% damage. Diamonds cuts enemy resistance for 8 by -8 for 5 seconds, does not stack. Heals you for 75 HP. 1.25 scaling. Half heal, no non-heroes. Clubs 30% slow for 3 seconds. Joker has all the above effects and bounces to an additional enemy within 20 meters. Has a 1 in 9 chance. Oh, so they're just random. Okay. 2 cards based from 1. Damage reduced. Spirit scaling reduced. Now takes 20% longer to build cards. Cooldown reduced from 0.75 to 0.5. I mean, this is kind of cool, but really what it means is you're going to have to... If you want to get benefit from this change, you just have to throw a bajillion cards. You're just going to throw a lot of cards. Now highlights the card that will be thrown next. Now has unique sounds for each card suit that is summoned. +1 charge is +2. So you get 4 cards baseline with T1. T2 is 40 damage and increased spirit scaling. T2 change from card rate and 30% slow for 1 second. Improves card suits and increased Joker chances. The new totals are spades 2.5, diamond -13, heal 150, 2-0 scaling, club is 50%, and Joker 1-5 chance. Yo, card rate is gonna be nasty, bro. Card rate is gonna be super nasty. Fixed project mind interactions with stuns. Full auto no longer affects allies. Previously gave half fire rate to allies. No longer scales duration spirit power. Base ability now deals +2 spirit damage per bullet. -14 to -20. 2.5 spirit damage per bullet to 10 fire rate and 3 second duration. Okay. Unlimited ammo and increased spirit scaling on T3 full auto. Unlimited ammo. Unlimited. Telekinesis cast range reduced by 6 meters. Cast time increased to 0.3. Telekinesis no longer has a projectile. It now instantly lifts the target for 0.75 seconds and gives you a location on the ground. After that 0.57 seconds is over, it'll throw the hero towards that location up to 15 meters away. Target will take 100 damage, 40% movement slow, and prevent stamina movement item. Oh my god, oh my good god, oh god. That is pain. That is actual pain. Yo, this character is going to just murk your ass. She has ult up, you're just dead. 100 damage on telekinesis for the rank 1. Minus 50 second cooldown. 1.5 debuff duration and 6 meter throw and cast range. Good lord. Yeah, Wraith the Lash. Here comes the Wraith. Alright. We're almost to the bottom of the patch notes, guys. We made it. Power Slash being held down no longer automatically refires it. You can now cast parry directly while channeling Power Slash to fire the Power Slash and parry. Okay. Power Slash ability down 60% below resistor. No, dude. No. Stop it. Fucking stop it. Okay, the tier 1 Power Slash actually... Why does it need this? Why? T3 Slash now also grants 8 meter range. Woo! We got the Tsunami Slash, bro. We're just like fucking, and it goes through the entire map. Yeah, this is just a button pushing game, bro. You don't even shoot your gun anymore. Why do guns exist in this game? It doesn't even make sense. Flying Strike renamed to Flying Slash. Flying Slash is now light melee damage rather than spirit. Flying Slash slow increased to 50%. And they increased the range. And they put the cooldown even lower than it was before. 20 cast range and 40 spirit for 6 seconds. Can grapple ally heroes... weapon damage to can grapple ally heroes becomes charged and grants 2 charges. So she can just grapple 3 times? Guys. I think the devs have actually finally gone insane. I think they've finally gone insane. Just like completely off the fucking deep end. Just like literally out of their fucking minds. Mega tier list? I don't even know how I would rank characters right now, honestly. Everything got buffed so much, it's hard to tell. I'll have to play a bit before I have like a better understanding. Is it more of a PP patch? Oh, it's 100% another spirit patch.